Hi guys, Redneck Wannabe here. I hope all is well with you and your family today. So sometimes you look at something and, let's just say it's 3 or 4 things in a row that man just did not quite go as planned. And, it's easy to stand there or sit there and say, man, nothing's going right. This stinks, am I ever going to do it or whatever. But sometimes whenever you take a 30,000 foot view of things, it kind of puts it back into perspective. And that's what happened to me. I'm walking around my place and I'm thinking, man, is anything ever going to go right? This didn't go right. This didn't go right. That, blah. And but then I just sat back and I thought about things for a while. And when I took the 30,000 foot view, it wasn't so bad. So let's walk through things. This is, in a sense, this is my anniversary because it's about the 1st of October, and it has been a year now that I have made the conscious decision to start moving towards a homesteading lifestyle. I forgot the word. So a year ago, I didn't have a lot of these things, and so we'll just go through. We'll go through what's happened. What's right, what's wrong, what I've done good, what I've done bad. So you ready? Here we go. So a year ago, I didn't have this thing. It's a mess inside. I'm closing the door on you. So I didn't have this. So that is, that's my shed. So I didn't have that last year. I learned how to build that. So there's Meredith and Ricky Bobby are cats over there. A year ago, I didn't have rabbits. So I built this, and there's things that I would do different, which one day, or I guess it's been probably about a month ago, I went to another garage sale with my wife, and they were selling this and those right there. They were selling them for $5. So I snatched them up in a heartbeat, and I made a little mini chicken tractor right there. So, but anyway, I didn't have a chicken coop this time last year, and sure didn't know how to breed rabbits. So there is a baby bunny, and I've got some more back in there. So there's a doe right back there. Here's 3 others that we bred out. So there's a total of 7 baby rabbits that that we bred out this year. So a year ago, I wasn't doing this. So let's see, what else? Herb garden, nothing's really changed there. I'd always had a garden, and I'd always been growing herbs, so that's going great. A year ago, didn't have chickens. So right now we have 30 chickens. I have some roosters that I'm gonna have to call here probably in the next week or two, but we'll get to that. But let's just say 30 chickens. And actually, I bought 12 or 15 of them, and the rest I hatched out. So a year ago, I didn't know how to do that. Didn't have an incubator. Didn't know how to hatch out baby chicks. A year ago, I was just starting to build this. This was my my cold frame, and I've turned the cold frame into a grow-out pen for meat birds. So a year ago, I didn't have meat birds. Last September, I built this Back to Eden garden, and man, I had huge hopes for this. I thought, man, this is just going to be awesome. Every square inch of this thing is going to produce, and not not so much. This was the worst garden I've ever had. I've always had a garden, just just tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff like that for us. But this was the year I was going to see how much I could grow and how much money I could have made if I would have gone to a farmer's market. But yeah, it just didn't work. Now, one thing I did learn about Back to Eden Garden, and I'm not sure if it's tomatoes or whatever, but I'd always used tomato cages. But what I found with Back to Eden Gardens is the tomato cages just will not hold down in the mulch, the wood chips. And a lot of times they'll fall out. I mean, you can see how many have fallen out, or fallen down. So next year, I'm going to do this sort of trellis for the tomato plants, because here's what I've learned is this tomato plant just fell over, and you can see how it has, and I haven't touched this tomato plant, so you can see how it's just trellised by itself up this welded wire. So I'm gonna that's what I'm gonna do next year. So here's some snap peas. My youngest daughter loves snap peas, so this is what that is. But tomatoes, I had tomatoes, squash, two crops of squash, and the first batch got hit by a squash mosaic virus. The second batch got hit by armyworms, or some sort of worm, because man, they got chewed up. Same thing with the cantaloupe. I had cantaloupe right over there, just demolished by aphids this year. So now I have learned since then that aphids do not like cayenne pepper. So I soaked, 2 gallons of water in a bunch of cayenne pepper in about 2 gallons of water for about 2 days, and then I went and sprayed it on the cantaloupe, and it seemed like that got rid of the aphids, but I think it was too little too late. So a year ago, I was just getting this. Here's an interesting story. So these are Mexican petunias, one of my favorite plants. There's no medicinal, there's no food value in them. I just think they're beautiful because they attract hummingbirds and stuff like that. So these are from right over there. So in the wintertime, they'll die. And so I clip them off at the bottom. I brought them over here, put them in the compost pile, and you see how they've come up from seed. Now, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went to the local flea market, and there were a couple guys selling plants. And here is a Mexican petunia. All I did, I yanked it out of there, put it in there, and kept it watered. He was selling this thing for, if I remember right, $4. And I thought, man, I can do that. So I just pulled that, and I think this fall I'm gonna pull a bunch of those right back over there in that compost pile, and pot them up and put them on Craigslist or a local place, and we'll just see what happens. Now, a year ago, I didn't know how to propagate fruit trees. So these figs, oh gosh, that's, I don't know, 8-9 inches. These were sticks about 8 or 9 inches long. And so I think I started off with 12 or 13, and I've got 2, 4, and I gave one to a friend, so I have 5. So, less than a 50% success ratio, but, now I know how to propagate figs. Peaches and pears, not so much. So, I did air layering on the pear, and the peach for that matter, but, they just haven't quite taken. So I don't know. I still have a lot of room to learn right there. So same thing on that peach. Back over here, this was an existing bed or beds, and man, nothing. I mean, I had, if you include these and the tomatoes that I had back over there, I had 50 tomato plants. And last year when I just had these, there's 20 tomato plants here. When I just had these tomato plants, I had more tomatoes last year than I did this entire year combined. And so you can see how I've left the tomatoes up this year. Last year I pulled them out about August, and I planted some more, hoping for a September, October crop. Didn't get any, so this year I just left them. And you can see I should have a decent amount of tomatoes here relatively soon. So you know, this was a failure, but I left it in, and I think it's a success now. So, what else? Bermuda grass. I call this Satan grass, man. This stuff is just evil. And so these were existing beds, but I just built them up a little bit. And I thought one day I went to the shop, and this was in the shop, and I don't know where it came from. The guys just pulled it from somewhere. So I just brought it here, and I thought I'm just going to lay it across there, and hopefully it's going to keep the grass from encroaching in. But you can see, man, it has not done it. So then I thought, well, I've got a little bit of this metal left from one of the chicken coops, and I thought I'd just cut it and put it right there, you know, to keep the grass from encroaching there. But I was thinking, you know, number one, the heat would keep it from coming in, and then the lack of light below there. But you can see, not so good, you know. So this was first part of the year. This was squash, and you can see, you know, the squash again didn't do well, but the green beans have done absolutely fantastic. So anyway, enough of this, enough of me rambling. But you know, when I take a 30,000 foot view of things, then I realize, man, how much I have accomplished. But you know, and I think it's just human nature to look at, you know, a little, you know, a failure here, a failure there, and then we think, oh golly, can I ever do this? Is this ever going to work? But if we just sit back and we look at it, you know, again, from 30,000 feet, then we can realize how much and how far we've come in just a year. So, thank you. Y'all are a big part of that, because I have learned more from y'all than ever by myself, and I appreciate y'all. I really sincerely do. And there's some guys out there that have taken me under their wing and have helped me, and I say thank you. So anyway, again, if I can do this, you can do it. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope this encourages you, because y'all are definitely an encouragement to me. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Bye.